Hey everyone, this is Ahmed Sharif from EB Technologies, and today we're going to go over a quick tutorial as to how to get cache drillable data into your dashboards. Previously, before 4.1 SP1 of dashboards and of the BI platform, this was not possible. You could only get live data in using the query browser. Let's go ahead and take a look at this presentation here with this dashboard, and then we'll walk back as to how we were able to enable the dashboard to drill down using drillable cache data. I'm going to go ahead and preview using the mobile fit to screen version, which will show us how it will look on a mobile device. And I'm going to go ahead and select Texas, and I'm going to drill down to Texas, and I get the 3 cities in Texas. If I want to look at Austin, I can see how many stores in Austin. Looks like there's only 1 store. I'll drill back up, and let's look at Houston. We'll drill down. Houston has 2 stores, so you can kind of see how this functionality was working. Now you might ask yourself, you can do this previously, but it would take a lot of data and a lot of connections, and you would end up with, a very big clunky dashboard. Let's look at the back end of this dashboard and see how we did it. So first we have 5 main components. We have a scorecard that shows you the data. We have a drill path that's set up by a radio button. We have a push button, and we have a little bar chart at the bottom. This navigation path is mimicking the same path that was created at the navigation path level inside of an information design tool. So the state, city, store navigation path is set up in the universe. Let's go ahead and see what we did with the connections first of all. So we want to click on our manage connections, and we see we have 1 connection in the data, and it is coming as a query as a web service. And as you can see, it's denoted by an asterisk, which means the connections are supported on mobile devices. Additionally, once we consume the BI service coming from the dashboard or web intelligence, you will see that there are 2 methods to bring in the data, a drill method and a get report block method. The drill method is the one that allows us to go from the highest level hierarchy to the most granular. I went ahead and mapped the data to a couple of rows. The row data was mapped to cells E4 through F20 here. And the header data was mapped to rows E3 through F3. That was all that was mapped in terms of getting data from the dashboard, getting data into the dashboard. As you can see, there is no other data anywhere in the cell, so nothing is coming in live, and there are no other connections coming in. Next thing we have is the connection shows us we are going to have a drill path method. So the from method tells us what is going to be the method of getting the highest to the lowest level in terms of an object. So we map that to the header name, which would be either the city, state, or store. Additionally, we said the value of that header would be in the cell above that, and I'll show you how we got to that in a second. Finally, the drill operation would be mapped to the radio button, which is telling us whether the path will be going up or down. As far as the data itself, just to specify, we are going against a refreshed instance, so we set that to true. If you click on refresh, you'll see that there is nothing in there. Finally, we have this data set to refresh before components are loaded, and then we have it set to refresh an additional time when cell L2 is triggered or is changed. That is our trigger, and we'll show you how we got that in a second. What we now have up here on the components is the drill path, which tells us whether it's going to go up or down here. We have the spreadsheet, which is mapped to this body of data, the header and the body. Additionally, we have the scorecard spreadsheet mapped to have insertion ability. So any data that's selected from here can be pasted into this data. And that's one of the things that enables us for the drill path to know what happens in terms of what is being selected for the object and then what within the object is being selected. Finally, the last thing we have is this little drill button, which is a selector, a push selector. And what that does is it takes cell L1 and pushes it into cell L2. So what is cell L1? Cell L1 is a concatenation of two fields, I1 and E2. So what I'm telling the push button to do is anytime I1 is changed, anytime E2 is changed, or either or, the push button will take this value, put it in here when it's selected, and the component will then refresh as the value changes. And that's pretty much it. The navigation path is set up. We go ahead and once we've set up everything to be proper, we can go ahead and preview it. We go down, we click on Massachusetts. We should only have one city for Massachusetts. Boston, we click on Boston. There's probably only one store there. Boston Newbury, we go back up. And again, we go to California, we click down. Los Angeles, and so on and so forth. So there you have it. Compatibility is working fine with getting drillable cache data into mobile SAP dashboards, which limits the number of connections you need and the number of data that you have to bring back into a connection. So you're dealing with much faster response times if you go against cache data, and a much less clunkiness with the data that's coming into the dashboard that makes it so big in size and slow to operate. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much.